AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
I am your host, Stassi Schroeder. Welcome to Tell Me Lies, the official podcast. What's the most unhinged thing of season 3?
Steven, because he's so evil.
I do think he is misunderstood.
You see everyone face consequences.
It's intoxicating. The writers just know how to trick you.
There's always a twist in this show. It's nothing you would expect.
Tell Me Lies, the official podcast, now streaming, and stream the new season of Tell Me Lies on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
This episode is brought to you by Stouffer's. Here comes 3-time juggling champion Natalia Rogers. She's juggling law school, her TA job. Oh, narrowly catches the laundry. What's that fourth ball? Parents unexpectedly showed up at dinner time? Is that too much for Natalia? Not with Stouffer's Chicken Alfredo and its mouth-watering mix of Asiago, Romano, and Parmesan. When you're juggling 4 things at once and the clock strikes dinner, think Stouffer's.
Welcome back to Unscripted. I'm Paige.
And I'm Natalie. We're so excited for you to be here as we deep dive none other than the Hailey Bieber.
We had to talk about Hailey after we spoke about Justin last week. I'm pretty sure most of you figured we would because you really can't talk about one without the other anymore. I mean, they've been married for 7 going on 8 years.
And they've been together 10 New Year's Eves, at least according to a recent post that she did on Instagram. And we touched on that in the Justin Bieber episode. So they've been together a pretty long time. And, you know, that timeline is a little bit wonky, but yeah, that's how long they say they've been together. So
she's recently confirmed what you're talking about with New Year's Eve. And it got a little bit dicey because it sort of shook some things up from what fans really thought. To be honest, there's this narrative. And I mean, first of all, it just won't ever leave them. Not only just because they're married, but this whole like stigma around the relationship and who was cheating, when were they cheating, when were Hailey and Justin together, when were Selena and Justin together, and where's the crossover? But the other piece of their relationship that is really underlying is people really, really diving into their relationship dynamics and how much is Hailey a caretaker, possibly being abused emotionally, all of these kind of awful things when you really just like don't know about the relationship. But I mean, obviously, you know, you want to look out for people who might be experiencing abuse. Definitely not saying that, but also these are people we don't know that do have a lot of people who do know them around them that I'm sure if something like that, hopefully were going on and they could see it through all of these videos and everything by now after the public, you know, putting things, for example, in the comments on TikTok or Instagram of these clips from maybe a live that Justin did. And again, there are some not so good looks out there in terms of the dynamics, but something really recent, like just the other day, popped up as a perfect example. So people discovered that Hailey may or may not have reposted a video that discussed the abuse, and they
like toxic celebrity couples was the video.
Yes. And I think the video went on to say something like, I haven't seen the actual video, but what I was learning about the whole situation from the video may have talked about how she'll never probably leave and that there's like a codependency there and emotional abuse. And supposedly this got reposted by her, or people thought it was. My guess is, could it have been a slip of the thumb? I mean, I've accidentally reposted and had to unrepost a lot on TikTok and Instagram.
It did come across her For You page, though, or her algorithm served it to her. And it makes you wonder, was it served to her because of the content or because her name and her husband's name are in it?
And maybe all
it could
of
be both.
It could be both.
It maybe be one. I don't know. But that video, I looked into it a little bit too, and it says it addressed multiple high-profile celebrity relationships. And this user basically claimed that these relationships are being romanticized because the woman, and this is in quotes, tolerates mediocrity, abuse, doing the majority of domestic and emotional labor in exchange for being in a relationship. And then they go on to pinpoint Hailey and Justin as no better an example of this than Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber. And they, like you said, suggested that she wouldn't leave because she will tolerate the abuse from Justin. I think that's pretty harsh criticism. I can't imagine her reposting that intentionally. Maybe she did see it, but
your thumb can slip and maybe you don't even know you reposted something. I mean, I do believe that would have happened or people wouldn't have seen that she reposted. There are plenty of ways to tell. This is her clapback, though. I do want to make sure we insert this so her voice is here. She posted what looks like an Instagram story, and it's a picture of a clear plastic cup with what looks like an iced tea or like an Arnold Palmer, maybe like a blonde iced coffee with no milk in it, but probably an iced tea of some sort. And she says, "Hey, I know you guys who live on the internet are really bored, but I didn't repost any videos speaking on my relationship. Have a beautiful Saturday!" Exclamation point. And that was the Saturday before we were recording, which was just 2 days ago. So, and this is very recent and not a lot else has played out. But to me, I also don't think that the clapback was very good because your life is really popping off and benefits a lot from social media. And the fact that it can carry your celebrity, the fact that people, quote, live online carries your celebrity. And I think that that should not be forgotten. And it very likely makes you money in many different ways because of social media.
Maybe that's why the clapback didn't really have to be as harsh as it could have been. Maybe she acknowledges, this is her way of acknowledging, yeah, like this story's going on, but like, I don't give a shit. That's basically what it sounded like to me.
Yeah.
And
which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine because, you know, for the last 7 years that she's been married to Justin and maybe the last 10 that they've been together, she's been defending their relationship. They've had to address rumors that circle them every day. And even back in May 2025, there was a profile done for Vogue where she was asked about this online dialogue, this discourse that surrounds their relationship. And she responded, "Well, I thought 7 years in, it would have already died down and it hasn't." And then she continued, "You would think after having a child, people would maybe move on, chill out a little bit, but no." And so I think her response that you read with the iced tea photo feels kind of in line with that. Like she knows people are going to talk no matter what. And she knows that at the end of the day, what is going on behind closed doors, we'll never know. And I think she makes it pretty clear, like she didn't talk about her relationship. Someone else did. Like we are.
Exactly. Kind of what I was thinking in my head really took that beat there because, again, you are in the public eye and there are certain things and respects owed to the public when you're in the public eye. But at the same time, it's their personal life and they have the same due respect owed. But it's hard when you're talking about things like abuse. It brings up a lot of different emotions and a lot of different avenues to, quote, handle or care for the person or help the person that may be being abused. But at the end of the day, it's just like an addict or really anything else. You can support the best you can, but at the end of the day, people have to do things for themselves. And even if it kills them. And that's what's really hard to reckon with when it comes to those things, because we're the public, we don't know her. She does not know us. She doesn't want us to be the ones that take care of her. But that doesn't mean we can't bring it up and have our own discussions about it and her get mad. So I think that this is just exactly what you would expect it to be. We get to have an important conversation surrounding abuse of a public figure and what is going on. Oh my gosh, this isn't great. That's a horrible thing that happened. But then, yeah, she gets to come back and say, have fun living online. We're fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like a gross, weird situation. It's so parasocial and toxic. I can't.
It really is parasocial. And I think part of it too, though, like this dialogue of, oh, things aren't as happy as they probably you would hope they would be, comes from the fact that they've acknowledged that they have had struggles throughout their marriage, at least in terms of Justin going through something. And he's even acknowledged in publications that he got married and realized, oh, this isn't going to fix all of my problems.
Yeah, he says, I got married to fix all my problems. But Hailey is a fixer. You can see this in their dynamic, especially in their like 8-part, is it 8 parts? Like
a lot of parts.
Yeah, it's like they're self-produced. Well, Scooter Braun, of course, inserted himself. That's a whole nother episode. But he's very close with Justin, rightfully so. We, again, reference our episode if you want to know like how Justin and Scooter's relationship started. Well, we're going to try and link it if you're listening on Spotify. But yeah, they released seasons on YouTube, which is like 8 mini docu episodes. It's like a docu series, and the episodes could be 15 minutes, 30 minutes. It's an interesting watch, and you can really see a dynamic that they want us to see in it, but it feels authentic still. Like it's still very real moments, if that's making sense. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but I know you speak Paige Natalie, so you know what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're talking about. I think that the little that they are allowing us to see felt real, despite the fact that it was a little bit more polished because they got to decide what was chosen and presented to the audience.
Yes, the moments were filmed in real time and were real.
They were curated.
But they got to pick. Exactly. I don't think they said, ooh, we're filming, let's act like this.
No.
It just wouldn't come off real enough. And Hailey is not an actress. And honestly, neither is Justin, but they probably both have media training, but this was very real. And Justin is talking about depression. He's talking about his struggles with Lyme disease. He's talking about a lot of different things that have affected him since the pandemic. And then after seasons, they came back because at the end of seasons, it talks about his Justice tour, which was an album he released in probably 2019 or 2020, which is kind of what this was sort of covering along with their relationship, along with their marriage, all of the things. And then they came back with like a check-in post-pandemic in 2021-ish to kind of catch up. And because he obviously couldn't continue on, I think I want to say the tour was supposed to start in March or February. I think it started, and then he had to cancel. I cannot remember now what I was looking at in prep for both of these episodes, but they're interesting watches to check into both of those docus. And I think it's really cool that he let cameras into their home, quite literally their home. And I think you just get to understand what he wants you to understand better. And I've said this before. I say it in relationship with Kardashians. I probably said it on that episode too. I really do like hearing the story that a celebrity wants to tell you, because I just feel like that's the most appropriate. Like at the end of the day, they are a brand and they are a person. And the stories they want to tell you is almost like them telling you what they wish that you knew about them, how they wish you would see them, because people do see celebrities different. Everybody has their own perspectives. Like you could trip out on this, but there's a different version of you that lives within every single person that knows you. Like, I don't mean to get like existential, but like you could really trip out on that. Like I am perceived as this for this person, that for this person, and they see me as this because that's what's presented when you're with that energy and that person. So like it trips me out. So at least instead of making it up for myself or hearing from other people, hearing it straight from the horse's mouth.
You know, I think I totally respect that opinion and I understand it. But I think I also said this in the Kardashian episode we had with a gay man with a spray tan, aka Colt Paulson. I admitted that I'm a little nosy and I do like to hear what's being said about these celebrities outside of their script they have for us. You know what I
True,
mean? Like,
true. They're both important at the end of the day. If you're spending money on somebody, you want to know what they stand for and who they truly are. So, right, you're going to look at the court documents if they've got a scandal going on or all of the things like that.
And I think like I want to make my opinion up of them on my own. And I don't want to be too persuaded by the storyline that they're writing for me. You know what I mean? Like,
right. That's
I don't want them to gloss over.
And I guess it is that I just take it for fun, for face value. I try not to take celebrities that seriously. Like, I didn't grow up even as that like crushy kind of person, which this actually plays into Hailey quite a bit. I wasn't like, yes, I might find certain celebrities attractive, but I'm so deeply affected by one's personality, whether it's a friend or a romantic relationship, that like it's hard to get that from a celebrity, right? Especially if they're acting and they're acting out of character. And I don't know if this comes from taking acting classes and doing acting competitions and a little bit of work from 13 to 18, but maybe I sort of learned a little bit of like what goes into acting. So I just really felt how much it wasn't them. I often like don't like cry in movies a lot and stuff like that. I get very removed from that. I was
going to say, can you not connect?
It's more of just that understanding of that it's being filmed. It's a story that's being told. And I think that that's what sits with me. It's a story being told. So it doesn't affect me the way that it's like, it feels like that person's really, you know, dying in the story or whatever it is.
You can't suspend your disbelief. I think that's like one of the beauties of storytelling is, especially for like TV and movies. For me, even someone who like, I have my master's, I do teach screenwriting classes. Sometimes I'll go in to watch a movie or to watch a TV show, and my goal is to analyze it. And I catch myself just drifting off. And if it's a good one, I forget I'm there to do what I set out to do. I'm sucked into that show or that movie. And I think that's part of what makes it such a love for me is that I have this ability to transport my mind to this fictional story or this, you know, whatever story I'm watching and be a part of it, be immersed in it. And I don't know why I do that. I've done that since I was a kid. I was a big reader, and every book I would read, I would forget the world was happening around me.
Oh, people get like nostalgic for the worlds that are created, especially when you're talking about the Lord of the Rings of it all, the Harry Potters of it all.
I think we were talking about Outlander the other day. You were saying, oh, you hadn't like really understood the hype around it. And I was telling you, if anyone who hasn't seen it, they should watch it. It's on Stars. It's so good. It's based on a series. But yeah, that's like one of those stories where I just think I am so grateful I got to live in this world for just
you know
an hour.
What can do that for me is a little bit more. Now, I love movies and I do see myself as a bit of a cinephile because I do love, it's just more of the like being able to disconnect from, for example, again, somebody actually dying. If it's an animal though, no, that just feels way too real. But music can do that for me, like because it instantly can affect the
your
feels.
Mood
Yeah. And I feel like all that to say, I just wasn't a crushy person when it came to celebrities. I did jump on some bandwagons when I realized like, oh yeah, I totally agree. For example, that like growing up, you know, let's take it, you know, this when we were growing up, Leonardo DiCaprio, for example, he
never did it for me.
No, but like everybody liked him, right?
Everybody did, but I never
like,
saw. And this is not me being a pick me. It's just like, I never was a Leo girl. He just wasn't a.
Sure.
I don't know.
And that's okay. But like, of course, there were those moments, right? Like my friend and I created this like Leo book and we would like put like all the articles and pictures. Like we were obsessed and we were like, had no business being obsessed with like a full grown 20-something-year-old man as like 10-year-olds. But there we were.
And I want to bring this up for our listeners. This may sound like a tangent, and it is, but it also relates back to Hailey.
I have a tie-in.
Yes. Yeah, we have a tie-in.
Tell them what it is, because there's also a lot of argument about this, though. So
Hailey
tell them.
is infamous for having a major crush on Justin Bieber as a child.
Supposedly, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
They met on the red carpet years ago. I think she was like 9, 10, 11, around this really young age, like not even a teenager yet. And her father introduced them.
It was like
it's on camera.
It was Good Morning America, I believe. Or at least one of the instances that they met. And I want to say it was the first, was Good Morning America, very early in the morning. Hailey's there. She's sleepy. She doesn't look like she wants to be there. She's like 12, 13. He's like, somewhere between 14 and 16. Yeah, because he's about 2.5 years older than her.
But it's still like age appropriate.
Yeah. Very still age appropriate. And Steven is introducing himself. And then he goes, "This is my daughter, Hailey." We've probably all seen this clip if you follow them. If you haven't, but you're interested in seeing the clip, you can find it very easily on TikTok. And she just like sticks her hands out. It's like, "Nice to meet you." I mean, she's so sleepy. She doesn't look excited. She doesn't look like she's trying not to look excited. She looks like a teenager that didn't want to get out of bed and now has to meet this superstar. But would Steven have done that if she didn't have a crush on him?
Probably not. I mean,
no, like, I don't know why Steven was there. Like, you don't just stalk a 14-year-old or 16-year-old kid with your teenager. Like, so I don't know why he was there, but that's what happened.
And Steven, aka Stephen Baldwin from the Baldwin family, we need to start at the beginning, right? Like, let's go to the back, to the top of Hailey Bieber's early life and her family, just to give a little bit fuller picture
of a good spot to
who
do
we're
that.
talking about.
It's a perfect spot to do that, because even when you look her up, you can see like Wikipedia lists family Baldwin. Like, they're that prominent that Wikipedia has them listed as like a specific
they're
family.
Hyperlinks.
They're hyperlinked. Yeah. And not just each individual Baldwin family member. Like, if you go to Hailey's wiki, you'll see that. And I just found that interesting. Obviously, we like to reference those types of things when we're curating information and resources, because Wiki will lead the resources at the end. And I noticed that when I was grabbing resources from that. And it's like, wow, like they really are in American infrastructure.
Well, and I think we've said it also in maybe Justin's deep dive, or we've talked about Hailey a few times on Unscripted. She traded one famous name for an even more famous name.
Yes.
Last name. So she went from Hailey Baldwin to Hailey Bieber.
And it fit her like a glove, by the way, because I remember when the name change first happened, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's not Hailey Baldwin, because she had already made a name for herself through her modeling career, and she was friends with the likes of Kendall and Kylie Jenner. And I was like, okay, I got to get used to this Bieber. It took 5 seconds for myself and the internet to get used to that. And I think that would be hard coming from a family like the Baldwin that's, for example, hyperlinked, like you said.
And that's not something you see a lot nowadays, especially like you said, she had made a name for herself at this point. Women don't tend to change their names in the entertainment industry after they get married. It's just, they may do it on a personal level, but professionally, it usually stays the same. And so maybe it was, it's her right to change it to whatever she wants. Did she want to feel like a cohesive unit, especially with all of the drama surrounding her relationship with Justin? Did she want to take this opportunity to use it because it was a better brand? I don't know. There's a lot of thought that probably went into it, but we're not privy to that. All that to say is, let's get back to the beginnings. I had no idea that Hailey was born in Tucson, Arizona.
Right, because we always link her to New York City.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know why either. Maybe Steven was on set. Maybe they did actually live there. I really don't know why she was born in Tucson.
I mean, I don't know if it's ever been referenced in most of the publications I've seen on her. It's always Hailey and New York.
Right.
But for whatever reason, she was born there in November of 96. So does that make her a Gen Z or a millennial?
I'm going to have to look it up, why she was born in Arizona, because it's going to eat me alive. So I will look that up. But to answer your question, currently, that puts her like a month ahead of becoming a Gen Z. So she is like the last year and almost the last month of millennial. So
okay, I mean, she may be
she's a zennial,
technically a Gen X, but Yeah, it sounds like she probably relates most to a Gen Z because those would be her peers.
Yeah, she's a zillennial. I think I accidentally said zennial. That's the Gen X millennial cusp, but she is a zillennial for sure.
With the Z.
With the Z. I have her answer as well as to why she was born in Arizona. Again, it's just so interesting because they really are like a New York family as far as Natalie and I are concerned. It says she was born there because Stephen Baldwin and Hailey's mom, Kenya.
Yeah, it's Kenya.
Kenya were living there at the time. So they were living there. I guess at the time, Stephen was stepping back from mainstream Hollywood and he was kind of doing some faith-based work and looking to raise his family away from LA. So I guess from there, I don't know if they went to New York after that or when they made it to New York, but they made it to New York and Hailey grew up as a Baldwin and became a model.
Insurance can feel like a secret language, full of codes, copays, and fine print that make reaching your weight loss goals harder than it needs to be. That's why Ro created a free insurance checker to help cut through the confusion. In just a few days after sharing your insurance info, you'll get a simple report showing which GLP-1 weight loss medications your plan may cover, and whether prior authorization is covered. No membership needed. If you decide to move forward, Ro guides you through the next steps, including an online medical visit and any lab work if needed. From there, a Ro-affiliated healthcare provider reviews your BMI, lab results, and medical history to see if medication is right for you. The insurance checker itself is completely free, and if you qualify and choose to continue with treatment, Ro membership is $145 a month. Over 1 million people have already trusted Ro to check their coverage for free. And if you choose to become a Ro member, you'll have support throughout the entire process with on-demand access to your provider whenever questions come up. Go to ro.com/diaries for your free insurance check. That's ro.co/diaries to see if your insurance covers GLP-1s for free. Go to ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications.
If you care about the seafood you eat, you need to know where it comes from. Wild Alaskan Company delivers 100% wild-caught, frozen right off the boat, perfectly portioned fish straight to your door, so you always know exactly where it comes from. That means no antibiotics, GMOs, or additives. Just clean, real fish that support healthy oceans and responsible fishing communities. Get seafood you can trust. Go to wildalaskan.com/wildpod for $35 off your first box of seafood today.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
It's football season, and you can now get almost anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a running back delivered, but you can get baby back ribs delivered. A strong defense? No. A strong deodorant? Yes. A six-pack of abs? Nope. Six-pack of beer? Yes. Get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol 21 plus and in select cities. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
And for those who know a little bit about the Baldwins, you'll know this already. And for those who don't, the Baldwin brothers are basically 4 brothers that all are in acting. There's Alec, Daniel, William, and Steven. Steven's the youngest of the bunch. And they are pretty well known. I would say Alec is the most well known, and he was on things like 30 Rock. He is infamously known as the Baldwin brother who berated his daughter in a voicemail text and called her a little pig. He was married to Kim Basinger and had the daughter Ireland Baldwin. Do you remember all that? I remember hearing it on the radio.
I never forgot it.
How could you forget it? But I would say, in fact, I think Ireland, his daughter, and Hailey are pretty close in age. And I was actually
a couple of years apart.
Yeah. But they're like close enough where they like spent time together as cousins. So maybe they wouldn't necessarily have been, hanging out if they were at school together, but, familial relationships kind of trump that stuff.
Or actually, they're only a year apart. I just want to correct myself. You know how I am with like age and dates. They're almost exactly a year apart. And then I think Hailey's sister isn't that far away in age
she's
from
about
them.
the same.
Yeah.
As around the same age as Ireland. But I just saw a clip of Kendall Jenner on a podcast. And she was saying that she mentioned Hailey was her best friend. And the podcast host asked her a little bit about their like, how did they meet? How did they get to know each other? How did they become friends? And I didn't know this, that Kendall said they met through Ireland, Hailey's cousin. And so Hailey had visited Ireland in LA, and that's where Kendall met her. But they didn't see much of each other because Hailey lived in New York. So when Kendall started working a lot more in her teen years as a model, she started going to New York more. And that's when they really forged this deeper connection as friends.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had no idea.
To give a bit of a timeline, Hailey really began her career in 2014 when she hit the runway for none other than Topshop, which, that is just so fitting for the time.
It really is.
You could not be in this 2013 to like 2017 era without all of the beauty YouTube influencers and Topshop. Like you just could not. It was so popular, so trendy. It's still around and I'm sure it still has cute stuff, but like this is very fitting for like the time.
And this was really like the early days. We just did a deep dive on Brandy Melville. And this was like that era, the 2014s, the 2015s, 2013, 2012 of like Kendall Jenner and Kylie Jenner and Hailey really like being these early teenage girls that were running the streets. And their cute little outfits, they were showing up in magazines together.
This is a crowd we were looking at because there's Gigi and Bella Hadid. And then that created a Taylor Swift crossover. If I can mention her, it's going to come up because my brain is just flooded with all that info.
Like you mentioned, she obviously was a part of that cohort of models. She was signed to Ford Models. She appeared in magazines left and right. And she
none other than Vogue and Teen Vogue had to interject there. This is huge.
These are official publications. Like they're not just like, I don't know, US Weekly. You know what I mean? Like she's in fashion magazines.
Right. She's working those Nepo baby connections and she is backing it up. She's gorgeous and she was willing to put in the work it took to build that career and build herself as a brand and a model.
Yeah, she was leveraging everything she had in her back pocket. And why wouldn't she?
Didn't she wear a shirt one time that says Nepo baby, which is,
I was going to say
foul, but
also like tongue in cheek. She was very well aware of what she was wearing and the chaos that it would cause when she was photographed wearing it. So it was very funny in a way that she was self-aware enough to acknowledge it.
Which is kind of all people are asking, because when you call someone a Nepo baby, you aren't saying that they're not good at what they do, but what you are saying is that you get to do it because of where you come from.
Yeah, acknowledge it.
Exactly. Yes, you are good enough to do it. But if it was you and someone equally as good, you're getting chosen over them. And actually not even chosen over them. You're in the room to get chosen that they couldn't even get into. Don't even get me started. But people have been in music and film television industries for decades, and they're being told, hey, great script, But nobody I know knows who you are or can vouch for you, but keep it up. Great script. Like, that is crazy. But somebody that's a Nepo baby could have a script that's just as good, and it's going to get everywhere it needs to go. And that's all we're saying when we say Nepo babies. So that's like what you said. It is a little tongue in cheek. It's sort of her saying like, hey, I did earn my space in the world, but like also, yeah, like I know I'm a Nepo baby and what? Like it's tongue in cheek. It's a little bit yucky, but like also it's tongue in cheek. It's not that serious. Relax.
And it's not like she was acting or modeling from a super, super young age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she did explore a quieter life before she became Hailey Bieber or Hailey Baldwin.
Yeah, she's like 17, 18 when she started.
I think around 16, you know, before that, she was really involved in doing ballet. She was classically trained.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen interviews where she acknowledged like she did not see that as her future career, but it was something that she enjoyed doing at the time.
Mm.
She trained for 12 years, but she did have a bunch of injuries, and an injury isn't what caused her to stop dancing, but I'm sure it didn't help. What did stop her from dancing was she got hired to be a model at 16.
Mm-hmm.
And who can blame her? That sounds like a dream job for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, you got to take the opportunities that are put out in front of you. And not that many years later, right? Because I think it was referencing winter of 2014, around the time that some of these opportunities to model really started coming through. And then by January of 2016, she meets her now husband.
Everything moves pretty quickly for Hailey.
It seems like it.
At least around this timeline.
Yes, because then if they really had their relationship begin, which again was also a little bit on again, off again, what it seems like to me, and this is very unofficial, that when Justin and Selena were on again, off again, Hailey was kind of who he was going towards.
Yes.
But there was also other girls. We've had plenty of discussions, again, on the Justin episode. So it seems like that's how things start kicking off, though, in January of 2016, which, again, we just got confirmed that it's been 10 years. So that's New Year's of 2016, right?
If we're going to split hairs, it technically was a month-long relationship in December 2015, and they split up in January 2016. But yeah, so it bled over to 2016. Technically, though, 2015, if we're going to split hairs about it. But
sure. And that makes more sense. But when she posted, she was like referencing New Year's, right? She said like
New Year's Eve.
So
she said like, this is my 10th New Year's Eve with you.
There we go. And so, hey, on New Year's Eve of 2015 going into 2016, these two were canoodling. So that's kind of where it all began for them, outside of like the little meet cutes that they had when they were teenagers, because she was in a lot of the same rooms as he was. And everybody's like, oh, she was stalking him. I really don't think it was that serious. I think she was too young to get to where she wanted to on her own, at least permission wise, even if she had the resources to do so. Her family is not like that. For example, they went to Tucson apparently to have a quieter life from some of this stuff. So I don't think that her parents would have been good with her just going anywhere and everywhere so that she could see this guy she's supposedly obsessed with. Like, no, it's not like that.
That's a perspective I hadn't considered before, so I'm really glad that you're bringing it up. The fact that, yeah, she was a literal child while this quote unquote stalking phase was happening. She wasn't taking herself to these places.
Mm-hmm.
Her family was there as well, or we're assuming, you know what I mean? Or they at least had to have some say in where she was going. And so I think something innocent has been demonized a little bit in her, following Justin around. I'd also like to mention that 10 years of New Year's Eves together at the age of 29, which is how old she is currently, is a significant amount of time.
That means she was 19, their first New Year's Eve together.
I don't know if they were all consecutive, but I mean, probably it's like a third of her life. So I really feel like these two are like
that way, but that is true.
They're like magnets. Mm-hmm. Even when they're separated, they always end up back together.
Right. And I think people saw that with Justin and Selena, and that's why they very quickly demonized Hailey. But let me tell you, she had her supporters too. There were plenty of people who did not want Justin with Selena, and they thought that Hailey was a better fit. When you watch seasons, you see why they're together. He does a lot of the like jokey stuff. Like he'll literally just start attacking her with Nerf guns. Like he'll be like, "Hey babe, come here." And then she'll come and he'll be like, boop, 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 with Nerf guns. Like, and she's like, "I hate the Nerf guns." Like she's willing to put up with him for exactly who he was. And I gotta say, my girl Selena, we know how much I love her. I think she probably didn't and was a little bit spicier with that stuff. And rightfully so. That's everyone's right. Like you should be in a relationship that works better for you. So like, I don't think that two teenagers getting together means that they were destined to be together just because they were together for 8 years. It was a very serious relationship by the end, you know, being adults, being off and on, being almost a decade. So I don't want to trivialize their relationship either. I think that Justin very much loved and probably still loves Selena. So sorry, Hailey. Just because you get married doesn't mean that goes away. And supposedly he did text her on their wedding day, but we don't have proof of that.
I've heard that. And it's okay to have your first love, but it looks like Hailey is his
true love,
grown-up love.
That's what I tell my husband always, because he's not my first love, but he's my like actual true love, right? The first one to treat me the way he does, to create a family with me, which is us and our dog. And
that's a family.
It is certainly. And to incorporate me into their family. So like that is the true love, to take my crazy and my OCD and all of the things that aren't amazing with all of the good too. And so you don't have to be somebody's first love, or you haven't failed in life if you don't marry your first love. I think that's a darling little trope that we read about or we see all the time, but that's okay. And I think that hopefully a lot of people by now have let that go, because like Hailey said herself, and you referenced earlier, Natalie, it's been 7 years. You would hope that people have taken time to let some things go. And I think a lot more people have now than they did in 2018, 2019, when they were married at the courthouse and then had their big wedding.
And I wonder, so this is something I was thinking about too, is I wonder if they take her more seriously and this relationship more seriously because she's a force to be reckoned with on her own. We've seen what she's done with her brand Rhode. We can't talk about Hailey Bieber and not mention this skincare brand that she started in 2022. I think a lot of people underestimated her. She just sold it in a $1 billion deal to e.l.f. Cosmetics. And when you're moving like that, she obviously is bringing stuff to the table. You know what I mean? It's not just, oh, she wants to be Mrs. Bieber and live off of Justin's money all her life. And if she did, so what? They're married. But I think this Rhode brand that she was able to build and this platform she's built for herself has really created a way for people to see her as herself and her own person.
Oh, I'm wearing Rhode right now. I'm wearing the peptide lip shape. It's like a contour for your lip. You can wear it as like a little bit of like a liner or lipstick, and it's supposed to kind of accentuate your lips when you don't want like a full on like lippy on, you know? And it is amazing. And it has peptide in it. So, because a lot of her stuff has skincare. So this one, I don't know if I said the color, it's in the color Stretch, but she's got a lot of different colors. Good. Thank you. It's very fun to wear. I think it works great for filming. So I literally keep it next to me. So you probably see me in our clips on Instagram wearing that. So anyways, it's a great brand. And
this
a lot
is not
of people,
a promotion
or
ad, by the way.
No, kind of wish it was, please. But no paid endorsements here. I literally just like the product. And guess what? A lot of other people do too. Because where did I read something? Was it like an article? But it was going over, I think, celebrity brands that were actually worth the hype and the money and had the backing behind the product, if that makes sense. Like they actually had like a cool...
Oh, they had the sales.
Yeah, like it's more like what they're presenting is actually quality and good. And because a lot of what I'm trying to exercise caution here, but like a lot of what like say an influencer might put out if they get a deal with a brand to put skincare out. It's kind of like an already set formula, and maybe they have some input.
They slap their name on it.
And they kind of slap their name on a tried and true formula. Okay, so it's not that it's wrong, but this is actually something that I think was like, people use it and like it, and the product is good and unique to the amount of uniqueness that you can put into skincare these days, because there's so much out there, but everybody kind of copies each other, right? This kind of serum and, tretinoin, retinol, hyaluronic acid, like they all have their things that are similar. But
I had heard, as she was speaking about Rhode in an interview that I watched, that she spent a couple of years developing the products prior to even launching the brand itself. So this was a labor of love. It wasn't just something that she did slap her name on. She really was involved in everything, from like the packaging to the formulas to even the now infamous phone case that holds the Rhode lip peptide. And so she is not just a brand to be reckoned with, but she really is somebody that's innovating, which is not everyone in her space. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone's doing what she's doing. And it's clear from the amount of money that Rhode brings in every year. So I saw something that said, like, in the year 2025, or like the fiscal year, so like 2024 to 2025, Rhode made $212 million in sales. That's the money they brought home. It's not counting how much everything, how much money they brought in total. So it's kind of incredible that she was able to do this in 3.5 years, 4 years. It started in 2012. It's 2026, but it's January. That's not that long.
Not to overcorrect, but do you mean 2022?
Yeah. What did I say?
I heard 2012.
Oh, I meant 2022. Yes.
2022 absolutely makes sense. This is all she had a lot going on in her life, right? She's kind of newly married. And in 2022, she also suffered from a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack. So it's with your heart. And she had to have surgery to repair what was probably, my guess is like she had a hole in her heart, I would guess. So you get like stroke-like symptoms. It's very similar to a stroke. Maybe it's even a type of stroke. I'm not a medical professional, but it's very similar to that health issue, similar symptoms, and it's a very big deal. She also, not even a year later, or just about maybe a little over a year later, had an ovarian cyst. So she was going through it while
and that
creating
cyst
this
was
brand.
like the size of an apple, apparently.
Oof. That's painful too, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure. It sounds like she was going through a lot and still was able to lock down, or lock in is what I keep seeing online right now. Let's lock in.
Yes. I don't know how you create such a brand without that. She must have an amazing team and family that was there to support her through all of this. And I'm going to continue to use Rhode because e.l.f. is also really a great little brand. I don't know if I should call it little, but
I mean, they paid $1 billion for
so little.
Her company. So yeah, I would say not so little, but
they have fun products all the time too, and very affordable.
I was going to say that is probably their most distinct thing, is that it's like quality stuff that is affordable. I always use their like eyebrow gel. It's like $3. Incredible. But in addition to all of that, so she had those health issues as she's building this brand, and then she gives birth in August of 2024 to her and Justin's first child. And that's just like another life change. It's incredible what she's been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. I think I said that earlier, but it really is. It feels like the last few years of her life have really been on, like, they've been speeding past.
Oh.
And this is as an observer.
There's a lot of like spiritual stuff out there that kind of references like 9-year cycles. And like this 9-year cycle for her, unbelievable. Modeling careers to getting married to a possible childhood crush to working your butt off. Like
huge pop singer, pop star in the one of the biggest in the world.
Having a baby, selling your other baby, which is your brand, to another really great brand. I don't know ethically anything about Elf, so like don't at me with all of that, but just, you know, a well-established brand buying your brand for $1 billion, like just incredible things happening. And I think it's kind of funny though, because again, all throughout this, the health issues we talked about, as well as not long ago, she posted a picture, this is very recent, of her with like a light black eye, very light. Her underneath her eye, that like bone right below it was a little bit bruised, a little bit yellowed, puffy.
Oh,
and she
I did not see this.
She goes, this is what having like a 1-year-old is like. Like, I don't remember exactly what she posted with it. She took it down pretty quickly. So sorry, Hailey, if this is like propagating what you decided to take down, but we don't know what happened to it. But it was taken down. Maybe it was a story that disappeared. The article I was learning about it from said that it's no longer up. So I don't know that would be a grid post. So my guess is it was a story. And I don't know if she let that go the whole 24 hours or she ended up taking it down. Regardless.
But
she had a black eye from her son. And I think
does
that is so
play
crazy.
into this like dialogue that we started the episode with though? Like, is she hinting at something? Was it really the son? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
that's
if
what
she
I'm
knows
saying.
how people literally pick apart her relationship with Justin,
It's probably
and how
why she
maybe
took
it's
it
not
down.
the happiest relationship. It's weird to me, even if the son did do it. And I'm not saying he didn't, because I'm going to take her word for it. Why would she post it?
I think
that's weird, right?
To me, I would think that it's a piece of relatability. I think there are young moms, you know, Gen Z and millennial moms that follow her and that might relate to your 1-year-old banging their head onto your face. And where
Okay,
it was, it seemed very likely. Like if you're holding, you know, your 1-year-old and maybe they're having a tantrum, that they could have like bopped their forehead into your like cheekbony eye sockety area. But right, I think it just could easily feed into some of this rhetoric. Most of the rhetoric is about emotional abuse that I've ever come across, but still, that doesn't mean it can't ever cross. Do I think it was her son? I do. I really think that her son.
I mean, I'm not going to doubt her. I mean, she clearly felt comfortable enough to post it.
Yeah, why would she post it, right?
I'm not saying it was like a cry for help or anything, but it just feels, with such a large platform and with such scrutiny on herself and her relationship, it's a weird post, but I can understand, like you're saying, there is some relatability to it.
Well, also though, like I do understand the whole thing of like, why would you post it at all? But I'm wondering too, like, is that just a way of getting like ahead of it? Like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna have a black eye for a week.
Good point.
Like,
another good perspective.
What am I gonna do with that? And just like where it was, like, I feel like if you get like punched in the eye, like it's your whole eye. This was like down below.
I haven't seen the picture.
Where you would just think a head could have just like been kind of thrashing around a bit and kind of bopped you. But I also thought it was kind of cute. And I know that this is like bare minimum, but Hailey and Justin are outside on some kind of big, beautiful deck. And they've got people over. They're listening to Daisies, which is on Swag. Probably my favorite song on Swag, if not my second favorite.
Which is a recent episode or a recent album of Justin Bieber's.
Recent album of Justin Bieber's. He did Swag 1 and 2, and then he put them together. At least if you have Apple Music, they're put together now. So anyways, they're listening to Daisies, which again is one of my favorites from the album. And they're outside. It's nighttime, but then like you can see in the forefront, right? Like to the side and kind of ahead of them, closer to the camera, because the camera's set back so you can see the whole table that they are all sitting at, is like a pack and play. Like a, I don't know if it's an exactly pack and play, but it's like a playpen of sorts that does seem like you could pack it and travel with it. And it's like, I think that that's Jack Blue's. And
which is their son. We didn't say.
It kind of humanized the whole situation for me too. Like there's mom and dad. It's night. He's probably not in there, but he's probably sleeping elsewhere. But like they had him and they had him out there in that earlier on their own. I'm sure they have nannies as well. But like, I don't know. It just kind of like hit like, okay, this is.
Yeah, they're really doing this thing.
Yeah. Because it's so easy to just, I don't know, when you don't know them, it's hard to understand that they're moving on to something else. Like how Justin probably doesn't want to be thought of as the 18-year-old that was with 20-year-old Selena anymore, you know? He hasn't been with her since 2018. It's a long time now. So,
well, I'm curious to see what she does next, if she's going to build another brand, how long she's going to stay on as, like, I think after the deal with Elf, with Rode buying them out, the plan was for her to stay on as COO and like be very involved in like the branding and marketing. I'm curious if she's going to stay on indefinitely or if she's going to go and build another brand and sell it for $1 billion, because we know she's capable of so much. And I like what she does. I think she has great style. I think she's interesting.
Yes.
And clearly other people do too, because I mean, she wouldn't be where she's at if she wasn't. So I'm curious to see what she does in her next 9-year cycle, as you put it.
Yes, I will be. Well, I guess I should say this for both of us. So we'll both be watching what's going on.
Oh, absolutely.
For the record, as well, as we wrap up, I see her as a very independent, strong woman. And I don't see her as somebody who would want to stay in something that didn't serve her correctly. I don't think she needs anybody. Again, Nepo baby. I think that she would probably try her hardest to make a marriage work because, again, marriage is not a joke. She took it so seriously that she called her parents to make sure, like, if you even think I shouldn't, tell me not to. Like, she didn't take the decision very lightly. I don't know what that means. I don't think it means that she didn't want to. I think it means that she was making a big, serious decision and she wanted to hear from mom and dad that they still approved and that's
kind of sweet though, because
yeah,
it shows that she is pretty close with them and values their opinion.
Yes, they are close, I think. I mean, how many Baldwins are there? There are like 6, including their sister, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
But like the ones that you hear about are like the 4 that I listed earlier.
That's right. The Baldwin bros in the industry. Yes. But what a interesting, different type of episode here today. And I think that just proves that Hailey is a standout on her own, with or without Justin, with or without being a Baldwin at this point in her life. And she worked hard to get there.
Yeah. Like I said, I think she has big things coming.
We'll be watching. That sounds so creepy, but
not in a creepy way.
Whatever the media
we'll be
is
cheering
feeding
her
us
on.
about her, we'll be cheering her on. That is exactly right. Make sure to come back next Monday for an episode of Unscripted. Before that, though, tomorrow is the first episode of DocuFiles.
Woo!
We probably said something last week about that, but there was a small holdup technically to get the full audio all set and ready for release, but it will be by then, and you can enjoy that on Tuesday. Make sure to watch the docuseries Quiet on Set before listening so that you can kind of follow along. And finally, on Thursday will be the true crime case coverage of a case that needs your attention. Thank you so much for being here as always, and we'll see you then.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Insurance can feel like a secret language, full of codes, copays, and fine print that make reaching your weight loss goals harder than it needs to be. That's why Ro created a free insurance checker to help cut through the confusion. In just a few days after sharing your insurance info, you'll get a simple report showing which GLP-1 weight loss medications your plan may cover, and whether prior authorization is covered. No membership needed. If you decide to move forward, Ro guides you through the next steps, including an online medical visit and any lab work if needed. From there, a Ro-affiliated healthcare provider reviews your BMI, lab results, and medical history to see if medication is right for you. The insurance checker itself is completely free, and if you qualify and choose to continue with treatment, Ro membership is $145 a month. Over 1 million people have already trusted Ro to check their coverage for free. And if you choose to become a Ro member, you'll have support throughout the entire process with on-demand access to your provider whenever questions come up. Go to ro.com/diaries for your free insurance check. That's ro.co/diaries to see if your insurance covers GLP-1s, for free. Go to ro.co/safety for boxed warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Car shopping shouldn't feel like preparing for a marathon of paperwork. That's why Carvana makes buying and financing your car easy. From start to finish, search thousands of vehicles with great prices. All online, all on your time. And when you're ready, your new car shows up right at your door. It doesn't get better than that. Buy your car the easy way. On Carvana. Delivery fees may apply.